Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane is investigating Eskom's decision to sign agreements with independent power producers. The Anti-Poverty Forum believes the agreement could cost the country 1.4 trillion rand over the next 20 years. Under the agreement, Eskom is compelled to buy energy produced by the IPPs, whether or not it's needed by the grid. Now, to shed some light on the matter, spokesperson for the Office of the Public Protector, Oupa Sekgalwe, joins us now on the line. Mr. Sekgalwe, thank you very much for your time. Before we get into this matter of the IPPs, a very startling statement is made or was made here on this station last night by the Deputy Public Protector. He says that there is no consultation in the Office of the Public Protector in as far as the compilation of the reports. For example, he states that the APSA Bangkok report, he had no clue what was cooking there.
Good morning, Polly, and good morning to the listeners as well. Well, I think this matter was dealt with recently in Parliament when the Public Protector and the Deputy appeared before the Portfolio Committee on Justice and Correctional Services. The question was asked about the role of each. Now, historically, the Deputy Public Protector has always had work delegated to him by the Public Protector. And when I say historical, I refer to even before Advocate Mkhwebane came into office and before Advocate Malunga himself came into office. How that happens is that the Public Protector would deal with matters relating to one branch of investigations within the office. Say, for example, the Good Governance and Integrity branch, which deals with issues of corruption, executive ethics, and so forth. Those matters would fall under the Public Protector. And then the Deputy Public Protector is delegated work relating to service delivery issues, especially what we call early resolution matters. So it's not surprising that he will say he was not involved in one case, just like he was not involved in Kanga, just like he was not involved in state capture, because he has a specific work that is allocated to him to look into. Right now, for example, he is spearheading our backlog project where we deal with all the cases that date back to 2012, 2011 that are still pending. And then he is also still focusing on service delivery matters. He chairs a lot of alternative dispute resolution complaints or matters that we resolve through ADR.
Mr. Sekgalwe,
yes.
Sorry to interrupt you there. The Deputy Public Protector seemed to suggest that there is no consultation in general terms within that office. I suspect that the matter relating to him in as far as the security clearance, it's one particular matter, but he seems to suggest that there is no consultation. How are these reports compiled by the Public Protector before they are released to the public?
Well, I would have to engage him to understand what he was saying, because as far as I know, the Deputy Public Protector sits in all leadership structures of the institution. We have got a forum called Leadership Meeting, which happens every month. He sits there with the Public Protector and the CEO. Then we have another layer of leadership. We call it the dashboard. That's where all heads of all executives who are heads of investigation branches update the Public Protector and the Deputy Public Protector on all the cases that we are investigating and so forth. So I'm not sure really what he meant there.
What about his security clearance? What exactly is the hold-up there?
Well, the Public Protector is not responsible for issuing security clearances. That's the role of another state institution. But I think that matter was dealt with because there was a letter written to Parliament and subsequently it was addressed. And then as we speak, the Deputy Public Protector has got no issues with that matter. But the issue of security clearance is totally out of our hands. It has to do with the state security agency.
Talk to us about the investigation now on these independent power producers. Who's the complainant here and what is the nature of the complaint?
Well, the public protector received a request for an investigation from a group that calls itself the Anti-Poverty Forum. It was sometime early this year, and their complaint related mainly to what they deemed to be maladministration at Eskom with regard to what they term an irregular awarding of contracts to renewable energy independent power producers. And then they have alleged that this could cripple Eskom in one way or another. The public protector is still in the early stages of that particular investigation. We have requested information from respondents as part of gathering evidence early on in the investigation.
Mr. Sekgalwe, the public protector will once again today face off with another public official, in fact, the very president of the country. They will be in court. Talk to us about her understanding or perhaps her assessment of the court cases or the court outcomes that we have seen thus far. What's her view of these rulings? Because all of them seem to be going against her. Is it perhaps the issue of her understanding of the law, or perhaps she thinks she may think there's something deeper going on?
You know, Tolly, as far back as 2016, in March, when the Constitutional Court ruled that the findings and remedies of the public protector are binding unless set aside by a court, we could predict that applications for reviews of our decisions were going to increase tremendously. And that was proven. In fact, when you look at the annual report that Advocate Madonsela put out just before she left office, that prediction is made in that annual report. And when Advocate Mkhwebane came into office, we already had 16 people who had applied to the court to have Advocate Madonsela's report reviewed. Some of those cases are still pending before court now. So the point I want to make is that we exist in a legal sphere, just like the courts. For example, every other day a court judgment is overturned or someone wants to appeal it. It's going to happen. And the reason why it happens like that is because court orders are binding. And when the public protector's remedial action also became binding as a result of that court judgment, we started seeing more of these reviews, and we are going to see them more into the future, even long after Advocate Mkhwebane's term of office has ended. It's going to be the case because that is the law now. When you are not happy, you can no longer just ignore it as it happened before 2016. People are going to take it to court. And there shouldn't be any surprises when the court rules against the public protector, because even if you look at the judgments of the judge who dealt with our case yesterday, she has had several of her own court judgments overturned.
Right, that was Opa Sekgalwe, the spokesperson in the Office of the Public Protector.